Hey, Velma, I got your caffeinoid pills.
You're a lifesaver. Hope Abigail didn't give you...
I hear those rich people in Byzantium pay a handsome bit for Rat Musk.
Ooh, you're the new face. Wow, you must be up on all the latest tossball games. So who do you follow? Wait, don't tell me. You look like a Hammersmith Thunder fan. No? I'd heard they'd gotten a new hacker. Is that why everyone's making such a fuss about you? But what are you doing on Monarch? Ha! Maybe we're not so isolated as I thought. So, what can I do? Poor Isaac. I was wondering why I hadn't seen him, and I'd really like to help. Isaac was a sweet fellow, even if he did have terrible teeth. They were pretty distinct. Monarch doesn't exactly have a thriving dental industry, and Isaac seemed to get stuck in all sorts of bad habits, dietary and otherwise. Sometimes he'd drink purpleberry punch by the liter, other times he'd keep betting on a losing team. Started owing the wrong people money. I don't know for sure, but I saw Elijah and his buddies pushing Isaac around. They're hooligans from Fallbrook. They sweep into town, drop supplies off behind the warehouse, and spend the rest of their stay getting rowdy over. They usually loiter in the alley behind the yacht club. They're not allowed in the bar anymore. I bet you anything Isaac ran into trouble with one of them. Mr. Sanjar will be pleased to hear about it when you're done. I know he gets fed up with the Fallbrook bullies, but there's not much he can do. Here to catch a game? I'm afraid the transmission's still pretty bad. What can I do for you? Graham's always filling the airwaves with his propaganda. All it means is the tossball games get to us in fragments. Signed by the Black Hole himself. There's no way I could pass. Why, did you want to see it? I don't have it yet. I'm waiting on a few customers to pay up before I can give Velma the bits. You really think he'd do that? I never would have figured. It's not worth the risk. Fine. Tell Velma that I don't want the poster anymore. I'll find something else to hang in my shop.
I'd give you a friendlier welcome, but I'm up to my elbows in salt tuna guts.
Who spat in your spirits, Velma?
You notice my mood? I'm surprised you can see straight.
I could be seeing triple and I'd still think you're being unkind. I just might find it funnier.
Anyway. Sure can. That's a surprise. Tossball being part of her... Take the poster then. And if I never hear another word about it, it'll be something else.
Have you had time to check on that poster yet? I keep wondering if it's... Sorry, I just get so excited, and I always feel like I miss everything that happens in town while I'm up here. Would you look at that? The Rizzo's logo is nice and bright, and you can still smell the ink. I can't thank you enough. Still, you can have the bits I was gonna spend at the bar this week. And you know what? Take my old tossball blocker too. Never get the chance to use it these days.
I shipped with a merc who had a gun like yours, Nyoka. He polished it, sang to it, slept with it. Not like that, as far as I know.
Sounds like he had himself a discerning palate. Where are you going with this?
He couldn't hit the broadside of an assault cruiser, hence the tin shredder.
Wouldn't be the first man I met bearing compensation for his lack of skill. What's up? Yeah, at first we all thought it was about damn time. I don't know if you've noticed, but Monarch ain't exactly easy on the spirit. Then it got uglier than a rat eating a sour grape. Everything that could have gone wrong did. Townships were promised evac shuttles that never came. Overland routes were attacked by marauders and wildlife. Supplies went missing, our equipment started corroding on account of the sulfur in the air. It was a fine mess. They don't go to sleep at night with a morbid understanding that a rapt might eat them while they sleep. Maybe their bosses don't have the right priorities. Maybe someone out there is a bit too focused on the bottom line, but at least they have... Don't be naive, Captain. We'd still be on Earth if the corporations hadn't ponied up to the bits to get us out here. Progress requires structure. Nobody's gonna build a sewer pipe or a road if they don't got a boss telling them to. The bureaucracy's necessary. Sure. Then the next time they want to build a road, they'll charge tolls to recoup the costs. Then they'll hire someone to help them build another. Before you know it, they've got themselves a staff. Pay checks, seminars on the best road building standards and practices. It always happens eventually, Captain. May as well embrace it.
Whatever you do, don't mention Tossball.
You startled me. Don't sneak up on a person like that, huh? Braxton. I've never even heard of a Braxton.
Dilated pupils, anxious posture, muscle spasm. She's high on some quality stuff.
Braxton always has a good stash, and I just like to let loose a little. Stop thinking about the marauders and the raptidons outside, you know? Huh. He told me he was delivering to this house in the ruins south of town. Whole family had fallen sick, and he had some meds on hand. So maybe look...
I'll be straight with you. Folk who disappear in the wilderness generally aren't able to come back. Don't get your hopes up. Can we talk? Good old Stellar Bay. Only place on the planet that don't stink of sulfur. On account of it stinking like fish instead.
Am I the only one getting hungry?
Careful. Only things you'll find in the ruins are like... Watch out!
A visitor? What an unexpected surprise!
I'm getting real bad fight or flight right now. Watch your step. People ain't this friendly outside.
In my experience, any stranger this friendly either wants to rob and airlock you or sell you something.
Nonsense. Out here in the wilderness, we welcome all who come to our door. Now come in, make yourselves comfortable. I'm afraid we don't get many visitors out here. The Raptidons and Marauders scare off all but the... And if you've braved them, you must be exhausted. Why don't you stay... I'm sure I would remember something like that. Now, quit fretting yourself about that. Make yourself at home.
Something ain't right about.
Oh, hi there. There was this other man who used to bring them. I don't know. I'm not really supposed to talk. Mama and Papa said he came from the city. When we got sick one time, he brought those candies to make us well, and they worked. Now we feel better than ever. Mama said... He said they were making us sick. Mom and Papa got real mad at him for that.
Some kind of off-brand drug, maybe? Wouldn't be the first or the worst.
They went to have a talk with him. Afterwards, they...
Oh. Way she said that reminded me of a rat licking its chops.
I've seen and made my share of corpses, but this is downright... unsettling.
They sulfur-sodden assholes. Ain't enough that the raps eat everyone? Now people are doing it too?
But what's this? You're tracking blood into the kitchen. Oh dear. You...
Quickly, my dear. He's getting agitated. We can't let the meat spoil.
Incoming! Hey, you!
Gotta admit, killing them felt real good.
Ain't deserve to die so clean.
If I never smell another raft, it'll be too soon.
Weren't you a Sawbones? Figured you ought to have smelled worse.
Sure, but those things reek like bad cologne. It's different.
I'm with you there. At least humans have the courtesy to wait a while before their bodies start to stink.
Most of them.
Is Velma soon out of sorts to you?
She's always cranky.
No, I mean more than usual.
Wouldn't know. I made it a point to stay out of her way.
I'd give you a friendlier welcome, but I'm up to my elbows in salt. That he's got his load on and I'm stuck covering. That's... wow. Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on Catherine herself. Still, it's good to know what happened to him. And that I ought to start something else.
Can we talk?
I wonder sometimes what they're doing on other colonies.
Uh-huh.
Think they're watching the same serials, following the same tossball games?
Mm-hmm.
You're not listening to a word.
Who the fuck are you? This ain't...
Hey! What are you doing here? Berta already pissed by those crates. Listen, that purple-toothed twerp had it, and not that it's any... I don't think so.
Turning fire!
That does it. Time for a drink?
Can we talk?
Who the fuck are...
Hey! Bert! And not...
That's the last of them.
Can we talk?
Who the fuck are you?
Hey! And no... Oh yeah? What are you saying? Wow. Most of the pencil pushers around here cave as soon as you look. Fine, we're going.
Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics based out?
That?
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32...
You've often...
Clear my schedule. This new Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very...
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, Who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself? What a charming notion. One doesn't meet many free spirits in Halcyon. Forgive me, I'd be positively enraptured. Only I take it... Oh, a shame. I'd been saving a bottle of iceberg-aged whiskey for an occasion like... I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back. Surviving alone isn't as easy as it looks. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now.
So-called is right. We've got our hazards, but we're still here, damn it. The board took off without so much as a thought for the folk.
And now you don't have to play by their rules. Sounds like a deal to...
Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are...
Exactly what I would have said, if I'd been paying attention.
You talk like
Freedom always sounds nice, doesn't it? It makes a... But if you sit down and tally up the costs, how you provide for yourself in the absence of aid, how you protect yourself from a hostile galaxy, it...
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored.
On our terms, mind you.
A lot of good that'll do. They'll just find another reason to turn...
Not if we secure the proper safeguards first.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
It's a two-pronged approach. The first part involves seeing Not long, but the devil is all. And the salient detail here, if you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive...
And you'll have a powerful ally.
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely...
Never realized fighting the bureaucracy could be this interesting.
It is quite... In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in, these days it's overrun with marauders and... Do be careful. I've lost more than a few people to marauders and raptors. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could... What can I do for you? Then it's good that I keep such... I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's... Not intentionally, though that's... For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. But back then, it was known as Terra 1. As you may have noticed, this planet has more than...
That ain't fair. They didn't leave on account of the hazards. They left on account of their cowardice.
Sharp as ever, Nyoka. And as the other corporations began to tally their losses... Our leadership at the time... But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursed... Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire plant, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms. No, they laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2. In a manner of speaking, many of us stayed behind in an act of quiet but firm defiance. As the most senior executive remaining, I ended...
Must have pissed off some real big suits to get...
On the contrary, I wrote lots of very important reports on behalf of top MSI officials before I was able to achieve... I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages. I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules. And yet I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly...
It's straight bullshit is what it is. A fabrication rich folks use to preserve their investments.
Nyoka has the right of it. It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location for the greater good. Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. Rather hard. Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and...
Yeah, that'd go a long way toward rebuilding...
If you can't beat him, might as well join him and reach into their pockets.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means... I'm not a man to put pride before progress. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then... Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more...
Don't get ahead of yourself, sir.
Yes, it'll be easier to explain. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them... He and his followers call themselves the Iconoclasts. Lawless anarchists, all of them. If anyone on Monarch deserves the reputation the board... A chance! They've been doing this for years. And well, let's just say, it isn't just that they drain our people and resources. He's lucky the board doesn't take him seriously enough to keep more than a few UDL gunships patrolling Monarch.
An Earth Directorate assault cruiser would change his tune. It's almost a shame we haven't seen one around Monarch in a long while.
What can I do for you? But that's terrible. I'm glad to hear you've dealt with them. They've been causing quite a bit... I've been consumed with other matters of late, but I would have dealt with them. Eventually. It really was on my to-do list. Still, your intervention in the matter is much appreciated. I see. And was his delivery... Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback ma... What else can I do for you? Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me. I'm listening. Then it's good that I... What can I do for you?
Join me for a second, will you?
Have you talked to...
New face, huh? You from... A ship captain? Well, I'll be. Here, let me... Why don't you grab a chair? Sit a spell and revel. Me and my friends have taken our destiny into our own hands. We're untethered, free of responsibility and worldly cares. Well, as long as we don't run out of bit. But until the windfall's gone, we're riding high. See, we just walked out on our work. Had enough, we did. So now we're striking. It ain't any one thing but the sum of it all, having to work longer shifts for less bits. And the wages we do earn don't cover as much. Our supervisor, Velma, goes on and on about quarterly profits and meeting quotas. But that ain't what Sanjar promised us. Velma refuses to negotiate, so we're refusing to work. We won't go back until she agrees to pay us fair and proper. Us on Monarch, we're free from the board, you know? We have the right to lobby for better hours and pay. Sure thing. If I knew that, I'd have tried it. Talking reasonably got me nowhere. Maybe you'll fare better. The others wanted to blackmail her, but we're above that. Besides, them are just rumors. We got no... I would never endorse such an untoward tactic, you know, but, well, there's rumors that... So far, it's just gossip, you know? But if there was any proof to be had, it'd be in the Saltuna warehouse, I reckon. Why don't you grab a chair? Nope. I'm calling her bluff. If she wants to threaten us, we'll see how she likes it when Sanjar finds out she gave Sublight even more dominion in Stellar Bay.
You ever think about what goes on in a marauder's head?
No, they're crazy.
But they still manage to feed themselves, dress themselves.
Smells like wrapped in here.
Oh, it does work. I bought some musk from Sebastian to cover up the saltiness.
Teach me that.
What do you think you're doing? I don't have time for this.
Why don't you grab a chair? What? Something happened to our stashed bit carts? But I hid it so careful. No one saw me put the lockbox on my balcony. No one goes up there but me. We must be dealing with some sort of criminal mastermind. Well, if we can't afford to skip work, we ain't got no leverage. Space me, but good. I guess you ought to tell Velma we're coming back to work.
Can we talk? Hey, next time we're out in the open sulfur, I'd like to stop in on an... preferably before we get to Hiram's. It's on the way. You don't seem the type to run off and get yourself killed, and I could use the help. I'll be upfront with you. I hate asking for help. I hate it every time I give someone the opportunity to disappoint me. But this, what I'm thinking... nothing we can't handle. I used to run with a band of hunters. Friends. 6 of us. We were on Monarch when the corporations pulled out, and we helped a lot of people pick up... I haven't seen 2 of them in years. And the rest I know to be dead. I'd like to gather their effects and bury them all in the same place. I saw it happen. Hell, his name was Hayes, and he's our first stop. I buried him a ways from our encampment. I'll show you where he rests. He had a medallion in his effects. That's what I'll bring home to bear. A long time ago, we built an encampment in one of Monarch's cave systems. Trouble is, a Mantiqueen showed up, and if we can find Rebecca and Anders, they'll know how to lure her out. Then, we kill the bitch, and bury everyone's...
I hear those rich people in Byzantium pay a handsome bit for rat rust.
I'd give you a friendlier welcome. Unless, if Caleb... Maybe so, but I bet you can't. He says he's got a stash to tide his crew over. Could be he's all talk, but if the money's real, Same thing as me. Where's your proof? Because I know no one's been poking around my terminal lately.
I'm in the wrong business if a woman this dense can get away with robbing her company.
Just as a hypothetical. Nothing to see on my terminal, of course. Because I've done nothing. Fine by me. I'd give you a friendlier welcome. If Caleb wants to keep this job, he'd better... Yeah, and did you miss the part where I'm working doubles to cover for everyone who... I'm the one who keeps this place running. That money's mine. Fine. Tell Caleb he and his team can have their raid. Something else on...
Why don't you grab a chair, sit a spell, and revel with us? Sure thing. How'd you manage that? Wait, never mind. If I question it, it'll turn out not to be true. Besides, I never follow how you got Velma to part ways with a bit card of her own. Here, take this as compensation. It ain't a lot, but I hope it shows how much we... Now me and my friends here better get back to work before Velma blows a fuse.
I'd show you around, but I gotta keep watch, just in case someone else comes along.
Hello, stranger. Can I interest? You look like a man who's looking for some mostly fresh animal.
Sebastian, you ever get your hands on those pheromone sacs? Manipillars ain't gonna hunt themselves, you know.
I must have hunted a dozen, but I couldn't find a single sac on...
Manipillars ain't got pheromone sacs. I just told him that so he'd stop asking.
At least I'm getting a good haul of claws in the process. You're in good hands, traveling with Monarch's top merc. Still, if you want any rat glands or manticlaws, I don't know. Celia usually buys whatever I have, and Mr. Pickett seemed real interested. So I thought maybe... He came to Stellar Bay years ago, just before the board cut us off. Ended up stuck here. He was always real interested in our monsters.
I kept telling him he was a fool for chasing Mantiqueen tail. Anyone looking to get familiar with a queen is liable to become...
Oh my. Well... Sure, they're Who wouldn't be? Now that just sounds like a fancy way to say... Well, I could send you to the same place I sent Mr. Pickett. But I haven't... Tell you what, I'll tell you where I sent Mr. Pickett if you promise to look for him. All right then, leave town through the southern gate. The one right here.
Past the ruins? That's Manta territory, all right. My professional opinion is that we leave that idiot to his well...
Last Mantiqueen I saw was in the wilds out that-a-ways. Yeah. Huh. I haven't seen her in a few days, but I've been meaning to ask her how that Raptidon... I hope it's working okay, because no one else really seems... Wait, I see what's going on. She put you up to this so she could get a discount. Don't get me wrong. I'd like to give her a discount. She's a real fine lady, always talks... But if I give her one, I won't hardly make a bit, on account of no one else having any use for Raptidon. Nuh-uh. A lot of people think I'm not too bright, but you... I know she can't get these good... Come on, that's crazy. No one would do that. You sound pretty sure. Okay, I'll do it. Once her shift ends, we'll go someplace nice. Maybe...
Have you talked to Sebastian yet? Okay, but how did he say it? Did he sound excited? Or like he was just agreeing? Was he like, yay, a date with Celia? I've secretly been waiting for this. Or was it more... Not to worry. If I never buy another Raptidon tongue, it'll... look at me going on. I'm sure you've got other things to do, and Mr. Nandi's giving me that back-to-work look.
It's nice to take a breather, ain't it?
You look like a man who's looking for some mostly fresh animal. He'll probably be wanting it back. You see any sign of him? Funny place to leave a journal. But what about Mr. Pickett? That's pretty sad. He sure seemed like he knew what he was doing.
Anyone fool enough to chase after a queen is pretty fucking...
So this journal is all he left behind? Seems like I ought to... Yeah, you're probably right. In any case, I appreciate you tracking down Mr. Pickett for me. Huh?
Think they left anything good behind?
Don't bother knocking on anything. Here they come!
Got some tough armor. My kind of How about that? To shreds, you say? Oh, you are in for it now. I'm on it! Got it! Here we go! That was fun! I got this!
Hello? Hello? I hear Boots out there. Wait, can Raps hear Boots? Oh, thank the Eternal. I'm Huxley. Hux if you're lazy. I'm stuck. My friends and I were scavenging here, and a Mantiqueen showed up. Then Raptidons. It was a void-blasted mess. I ran in here, and, now the door's locked. It's easier than it sounds, all right? Next time you get chased by Raptidons, you... Phew. My buddy had a key, but I ain't heard him in a while. He locked me in here and took off. Probably got munched. So look for a dead guy, I guess. Or a rat. Maybe it's an... Sure. Huxley. I'm an Iconoclast runner. The Iconoclast runner. Fastest we've got. Ain't a Raptidon on this void-forsaken hellhole that can catch me. I'm... Sorry. Put me in a tiny room like... Oh, that'd be my people. Graham and Zora and Milton and... I really miss them. My buddy locked me in here. I told you that. It was for my safekeeping. But, I mean, okay, yes, fine. I get myself into sticky situations. It's just part of the life, all right? Sometimes you gotta hide in a trash can so you don't get eaten. Oh, neither was I. Who'd hide in a trash... Probably. I don't know. When I try to read things, my mind gets to wandering about all the things. Get me out of... What do you mean? It's locked. Wait, upward?
Phew. Thank you so much. It was getting all stuffy in there, and I was getting a mite lightheaded, and I think maybe I was... Now I'm out here, and I'm headed back...
Still landing yourself in trouble, eh, Hux?
Oh, hi, Nyoka. You mind giving me an escort back home? Oh, you're traveling with someone. Never mind. But I ain't got nothing on me. Can do. Oh, sure, I'm a runner. I'm used to getting all dizzy and... Hey, who's your identical, slightly blurry friend? Thanks a lot, mister. Fresh sulfur. Good to be outside.